Good morning, guys. At home. So people are asking questions here, and I want to answer these questions for the people that are at home as well. So tomorrow is the last day of this course. You're probably aware of that. I'm going to try and get in touch with everybody that still owes me something, which is most people. They still owe me at least one thing. But it would be really helpful if, in advance of that, you just looked. So if you look in your assignments tab, if there's anything that says not submitted, you owe me that. I need something for every single thing in there, except for the very last thing on the assignments tab, which is the plants assignment that we're going to work on today. That one's optional. But everything else in there has to be completed. And if you look on the quiz tab, any quiz that's on there needs to be completed. Okay? So for most people owe me at least one thing, at least for me looking over what people owe me. I'll try and catch up with everybody who's here in person first, and then for the people at home, I will try and get to you by email as well. But you can easily check this by just looking. So we have today and tomorrow. Today we're going to be working on the optional assignment, and there is a quiz for the plants unit, which we're going to work on in block 2. So that's what we're going to be working on today. We're basically finishing the plants unit. If you are done your plants vocabulary list, turn it in. Okay? There is no more new plant content. So if you're done the plants vocab list, just turn it in. It's done. Okay, so that's one of the easy things you can turn in today. Tomorrow, we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about microorganisms. We're talking about protists. We're going to talk about bacteria, maybe a little bit about viruses if we have time. So we're going to spend like one day talking about microbiology. Ideally, it would have been more. But so that's going to be tomorrow. And then on Monday and Tuesday of next week, you guys are going to go to your course 1. So whatever your course 1 is, you go back to course 1. If you are in, what is this called, cohort B? Cohort B. It's Monday and Tuesday of next week are cohort B here. So if you're in cohort B, if you're supposed to be at school, you are still at school next week for Monday and Tuesday. So that doesn't switch. It's still cohort B.
I have a question. Is this course 1 now?
This is course 1.
Okay, so we'll be here.
Sorry, I'm mixing them up. Sorry, you're going to course 2. But cohort B. So whoever's at school right now will still be here on Monday and Tuesday. That's the important part. And if you're in cohort A, you are already done for this quadmester. Like, you don't come back to school again.
Damn.
So just so you know, for people at home.
Wait, so today's the last day that we have you, but the actual
No. Tomorrow is the last day you have me.
Yeah, but the semester doesn't end actually until the 13th.
That's correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
Because we have to still switch the course.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Monday and Tuesday are going to be course 2. And then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are really catch-up days is what they are. So if you're done everything, okay, let's say you're done every single assignment, there's only one thing you need to do during those catch-up days, probably for both courses. I don't know what your other teacher is expecting, but in general, what we've been told to do is to do a course survey, okay? It'll take you 5 minutes. Really, you need to log in, and you need to let me know what you enjoyed about the course, if anything, what you disliked about the course, if you have any input about what could be potentially improved about the course, acknowledging the confines of the COVID restrictions that we have to work with. But if you can think of anything, I'd love to hear about it. To potentially modify this course, I got to teach it again. So I'd love to hear your feedback. So that is the only thing you need to do if you're done everything. If you're not done everything, you have got to get everything done. Forget about the plants presentation assignment. So that's bonus, okay? You can hand that in if you're done everything else until Friday of this week at midnight, okay? But once Friday of this week comes along, that's done, okay? It actually closes online. I'm not going to accept it after Friday at midnight for the bonus assignment. But if you owe me anything else, that stays open for the entire week of next week until midnight on Friday of next week, okay? Please don't hand in everything on Friday at midnight of next week, because I would prefer to be done my report cards. On Monday of the following week, I start quadmester 2, as do you. So like, I'm moving on to my next thing, okay, guys? So like, I can't be like taking stuff after that. There's no opportunity. And if everybody hands stuff in on the Friday at midnight, that is a nightmare for me to get everything done, because I have to have my report cards basically done that same day. So that's going to be lunacy. So please try not to hand stuff in at the very last second if possible, okay? Anytime before that would be ideal. Yes?
So then, when Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we stay home.
That's correct. You will be at home. Everybody will be at home during that time. There is a breakdown of block 1 is for one class and block 2 is for the other or something like that. I don't even know what the breakdown is. I will tell you that for me, I will have a Google Meet open and I'll post a link for it on Brightspace and I will have it open all day for all 3 days. Okay? If you want to drop by any time during those 3 days because you need help with an assignment, I will be available the entire time for 3 days. Okay, so I will just be here for whenever you need help. Okay, the entire day for 3 days. If you want, I don't care if it's block 1 or block 2 or whatever. Okay, so that doesn't matter. I will just be available. But please, please, please try and get your assignments in, guys. You know, normally there's a little bit of flexibility around that. You're missing one assignment, but I have other stuff I can look at, right? I can be like, oh yeah, but they also showed it in this other assignment we did or whatever. This is a bare bones. This course is bare bones. I have one assignment from you, one major assignment per unit, okay? I have one quiz per unit. If you're missing any of that stuff per unit, I don't have any information on whether you learned anything in that unit. So like I'm completely at a loss in terms of granting you a credit in that case. Like I have no information with which to assign you a credit. So you really do have to complete everything. I have no flexibility here whatsoever. Even if you're half done an assignment, okay? If it's getting down to 0 hour, I mentioned this to people that were here yesterday. I don't know if everybody saw this online, but hand it in, okay? Just get it to me before the deadline because just so I have something. So I can say, okay, yeah, they've demonstrated some understanding of this unit, okay? I would prefer, obviously, for you to complete the assignments, but, you know, I'll take what I can get at this point. Please complete stuff, okay? I really, really need this stuff from you, and I don't want anybody to lose the credit. Okay, so that's probably enough of that. Let's talk about the bonus assignment. And for those people that are online, if you wouldn't mind just letting me know that you're present. If you haven't already done so. What? No, I don't want that. What's going on? Sorry, one sec, guys. My hotspot got disconnected here. Your schedule should be posted for next semester, yeah, or next quadmester. Come on.
Who's new hire 5AK?
Where's that?
There's so many weird names as well.
Teacher?
Yeah, new hire 5AK.
I have no idea. Did new hire 5AK send you an email?
No, it just says it's my teacher.
Oh.
It's like literally new space hire 5.
It's a placeholder. So that means that the person teaching that course has not been hired yet. So we had to do a big shuffle because a bunch of people moved to online, like teaching online only.
Yeah.
And so we have some positions to fill at the school in terms of like hiring teachers, and that's happening right now. So they're hiring people right now. So you're literally being taught by someone who has not been hired yet. We don't have a name for that spot. So it's new hire, whatever. they'll switch that, obviously.
New hire 5AK.
Why would it default to Amazon? That's weird.
Wait, how do you find out if you're in cohort B or cohort A next semester?
I think, doesn't it just stick with you?
It's the same.
It's the same.
I'm almost 100% positive it stays the same because you'd be leaving the school one day and then you would have to switch to the other cohort when you came back, and the only way to make that timing work is for everybody to stay in the same cohort. So I'm pretty sure it's exactly the same.
So I'll be in B for the rest of the year.
I think it's for the entire year. Yep.
Yeah. That's fine with me.
They may switch it in quadmester 3, like for the second half of the year, but I don't think so. I think they've established it and they'll probably keep it. It's confusing to switch it now.
I never regret. I took gym and power fit. Should I took something else? Power fit.
Well, it's certainly like the most movement you're gonna get.
Actually, I want to do PowerPoint.
Okay, there we go.
PowerPoint is actually really good for me.
Okay, for the people at home, if you are done all of your assignments, and you really do have to be done everything, okay? If you're done everything in all your quizzes,
I already finished.
there is a bonus assignment that you can complete.
I finished everything.
This bonus assignment can only improve your mark, as I mentioned yesterday. So your mark will not go down as a result of this assignment. Did you do a terrible job? Well, it's not going to negatively impact your mark.
12 how much will it improve?
So that would be all based upon your mark going in, your current mark.
Wait, yeah, it's based on whatever you have right now.
That's right. So if you had a very low mark and you got 12 out of 12, it would have a large impact on your mark. But if you already have, you know, a 95 in this course and you get 12 out of 12, it'd probably have a very small impact on your mark.
Maybe
So-
like an 85.
It'll raise your mark. I can't tell you the exact number, but it'll go up a little bit. So there's that. Anyway, so it's right here at the very bottom. It's called Importance of Plants Presentation Assignment. Basically, the only part of the plants unit that we haven't done yet is we haven't talked about sort of the importance of plants, the cultural or technological importance of plants. We talked about a lot about physiology. What are plants made out of inside? And like how are the parts put together inside of a plant? Mostly flowering plants we talked about. By the way, for the people here, if you are interested in doing a flower dissection today, I have flowers still, and I have equipment if you're interested in cutting one open and looking inside, just so you know, if anyone's interested. And I also have some samples of roots and stems and stuff that we looked at here in the room, but you guys didn't see them at home. But anyway, this assignment, it's just like the other presentation assignments, okay? So I tried to keep these very consistent so you kind of know what to expect, you know what to do. You're gonna make a presentation and you're gonna record it and submit it, okay? This one is, you're gonna pick a plant, a flowering plant, so a plant that makes flowers. It can be a monocot or a dicot, that has some type of importance for humans, okay? It is used to make medicine. It's used as a construction material. It's used as a food. Plants can have all kinds of functions. Ideally, you would try and find a plant that has more than one importance to humans. It just makes it makes an easier assignment for you because it's just more for you to talk about. So, for example, if you picked hemp, okay? Hemp can be used to make fabric. It can be used to make food, hemp hearts. There's like a whole bunch of different uses for hemp, maybe 20 or 30 uses, okay? Or you could talk about corn. Corn can be obviously used as a food. It's used to make ethanol, which is a fuel. Some of your gasoline probably comes from corn, which is the ethanol and the gasoline. Anyway, there's lots of functions for corn. It's used to make ethanol, which is alcohol, and it's mixed with gasoline. So when you go to the gas station, and it normally says on the pump, it'll say like 10% ethanol or 8% ethanol. That comes from corn, so it's made out of corn.
Wait, gasoline or
So you
corn?
kind of like drink.
A certain percentage of it is. Usually somewhere like around 8% or something. It depends on where you get your gas from, but they mix in ethanol, which is made out of corn.
What if you drank ethanol?
Ethyl alcohol?
Is that what it is?
If that is the type of ethanol, you can get denatured ethanol too, which is what you buy at the drugstore. That you can't drink that one. That one's toxic to drink. But if you're just drinking straight ethanol, that's what's in wine and beer and stuff like that. That's that type of alcohol. Mm-hmm.
I have a question about this presentation. Could you make it less minutes? Like for the last presentation we did, it was I had to go really slow and kind of waste time to make it.
If you really included everything you needed to include,
I did, and I
Okay.
tried to add extra things, but like
it should have come out to about 5 minutes.
it was 5 minutes and 12 seconds.
That's
But it
fine.
was like-
That's in the range. That's acceptable.
Could you make it like 4 minutes?
If you've got all the information that you need, you're fine.
Even if it's less?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you've actually talked about everything in significant detail, now I would guess that you probably didn't have enough detail in some part of your presentation if it came up that short. But if you really did have significant detail for everything you need to include, then that's fine. I'm not really looking at the clock. The time is there as a general guideline for if you're not talking this long, you probably don't have enough information about your topic. But I'm not clocking it.
Yeah, I talk really fast.
Fair enough, and maybe you talk really fast, in which case it might be shorter. That's totally fine. Anyway, so you're gonna pick a plant. The first part here is you're just gonna tell me about your plant, okay? What's its scientific name? So you can look that up. It's probably on the Wikipedia article for your plant, depending on what you choose. Okay, it's usually, by the way, a scientific name is a two-part name. Okay, it always has two parts. Often it's written in italics like this. I picked the Damascus rose here as an example. It's called Rosa damascena. So that is the scientific name for the Damascus rose. And then you need to tell me the common name of your plant. Okay, in this case, it's just Damascus rose. Your plant might just be like domestic corn or something like that, you know, depending on what you pick. All right. So you're gonna tell me, what is it called? What type of plant is it? So we spent some time in class talking about how to identify a monocot or a dicot. Yours is a flowering plant. You're gonna pick something with flowers. Most plants are flowering. So it shouldn't be too hard to find a flowering plant. But you want to tell me, is it a monocot or a dicot? If you're not sure, look at the leaf, right? Does it have parallel veins? Monocot. Does it have branch veins on the leaf? Dicot. Or you could look at the stem or the root or whatever, and then you can figure it out from there. If you're not sure, if you've like examined your plant and you're like, I really have no idea whether this is a monocot or a dicot, just ask, okay? I'm happy to help you figure that out. But I think probably from the tools that we've already used here, you can probably figure it out by looking at it. So tell me, is it a monocot or a dicot? Show me the plant, okay? Give me a diagram of your plant or a picture of your plant and just tell me about some of the features of this plant. Does it have pretty flowers? Does it have thorns? Does it grow extremely tall? I mean, these plants could vary wildly depending on what you pick, right? You could pick like a type of tree used for lumber, or you could pick like a medicinal plant that's this high, or, you know, it really could be anything. So tell me about some of the structural features of your plant. Does it have like a large root base, or like what's interesting about your plant? Yes?
There's bamboo. There's bamboo one.
Bamboo is a flowering plant. Yep. So you could choose bamboo as a plant if you wanted. Yep. There's several varieties of bamboo, so pick a specific one. Or if you don't want to get that specific, you can just talk about bamboo in general. But keep in mind that you're not going to have a scientific name that's a two-part scientific name, right? Because it's not a specific species. So you're only going to be talking about just the genus. So I don't know what the genus is for bamboo, but Rosa is a genus that includes all the different types of roses. So you would just say that for your scientific name. You would say it's from the Rosa genus. Okay, it's all the different types of roses. For most of these things, you're probably going to pick one specific species. For, like, let's say you're going to talk about chamomile or, I don't know, tobacco or something like that. You're talking about a specific species in that case. So that'll have a two-part name. But if it's more general, then you just want the first part of the two-part name. That's going to be the genus part, okay, which is a group of species. And in your case, if you were doing bamboo, that's what it would be. You'd be talking about all the different ones in the genus. I don't know what the genus is called for bamboo. Okay, so that's the basic stuff. Here, you're just telling me about your plant, describing your plant. What's this plant like? Okay. Then in the second part, you're going to be telling me about your plant's life cycle. How does it reproduce? Okay. In general, plant life cycles are pretty similar, right? We kind of talked about this idea where they're pollinated usually by insects. So an insect is going to bring pollen from a male part of a flower to the female part of the flower for another plant. It's going to make a seed. The seed is in a fruit. The fruit gets transported. It lands on the ground. The seed germinates and it becomes a mature plant, and then it starts over again. But you want to try and find as much specific information as you can about your plant. How is that specific to your plant? How long does it take for your plant to grow from seed to maturity? What kind of flowers does it form? Like, show me a picture. What kind of flower does this thing make? What is the pollinator from this plant? If you can find it, okay? Maybe you can't. But if you can find out what the pollinators are for this plant, it's pollinated by bees or pollinated by ants or whatever, just tell me that, okay? So you try and get any specific information that you can about the life cycle of your particular plant, okay? Anything that you can find. I realize that that's not known for necessarily every single plant, but if it is known, just tell me what it is, okay? So that's basic life cycle information you're going to tell me about. And then the last part here is, why do we care about this plant? Why did you pick it? So what is it used for? And what parts of the plant are used? So for example, if you're talking about pine, okay, which is a genus, by the way, not a species. There's a number of different species of pine, but you can do that. Pinus, I think, is the name of the genus. So what are pine used for? We use them for lumber. They're used in food processing. There's a number of things that are extracted from pine that are used for food processing. There are actually things that are from pine that are used for medications. So you talk about the uses. What is it actually used for, and what part of the pine tree is used for each of those uses? for the medication part and for the building material, that's the stem. The stem is being used, right? That's the tree trunk is being used for it's being cut into pieces and used for construction or whatever, okay? So that's the last part here. Just tell me why your plant is important and what is its sort of benefit to humanity, okay? What do we use it for? That's the last part. This isn't a super intense, I don't think this is like an intense presentation or anything. Most of this information, depending on the species you choose, is like more almost common knowledge, right? You're picking a plant that you know about, and you're talking about the things it's used for, which you may or may not already know about, okay? You just need to find sources for this information. So the last part here, as with all these presentations, is you need to have a research sheet showing where you got all your information from, and then your information organized by location. Okay, so you've got your APA citation, and then beside that, this is what I got from this citation, and then this citation, and here I learned these things. Okay, at least 2 sources minimum. Question?
I have a question about citations. Let's say I find something on, like, you know how when you search something up, there's usually like a Google box that pops up automatically that comes with some information.
Yes, you can't use those.
No, but let's say I click on their website.
Yep.
I take a piece and I put it in my own words. Do I still have to cite it?
You do have to cite it, yeah. But that's a totally reasonable place to get information from.
Yeah.
You can do that, but you do have to cite the source that you use it from.
So even though I put it in my own words.
Okay, so that's it. This is what you're working on if you're done everything. I would say, if I had to guess, 6 people in the class are done everything. It's not a huge proportion, okay? I'll try and connect with everybody in the room today at minimum here in terms of where you're at, but maybe 6 people in the room have everything done. If this is you, do this, guys. This can only boost your mark, okay? So you may as well do it. But if not, please work on whatever you need to finish first, okay? Please get this credit. I really don't want anybody to end up at the end without a credit in this course. How painful would that be if you took this as like your senior science and then you had to do it twice? Please don't do that, okay? Don't torpedo your credit here. I will help you get this credit. Let's work together, okay? Let's get your assignments in and we'll get you through this, all right? Oh, is there a question here? What's the question? We cannot really hear them. Oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody ask a question here? What was the question? What question did you ask?
I had to cite, like, if I
Oh, right. So the question was, do you have to cite, let's say that you Google something and it gives you that little information box off to the side. Like, do you have to cite that? Yes, you need to go to the source, whatever source it is that information box is from, look at it, and then cite that source that you just got the information from. Sorry, I had to repeat the questions. I think it's hard to hear them at home. Okay, so that's that. In block 2, or really, I mean, anytime, I already opened the quiz. You guys can also work on the plant quiz. So the plant quiz is, where is it here? Assessment, quizzes. There it is, plants unit quiz. Is 20 marks or possibly 21. It's open book. There's no time limit, okay? Please take your time. Go through. The questions are more detailed than I would normally put on a quiz, okay? And the idea here is that you are using your notes to complete it. You know, I'll show you a stem and say, is this a monocot or a dicot stem? I'm expecting that not everybody is going to know how to identify that, okay? But you do know where to find that information, right? We spent a day on stems. You have a note. Look back and take a look at it. Which one does this fit with? Is this a monocot or a dicot stem? Okay, it's sort of a form of review as well of this information. And then as you do the review, you're also indicating to me that you understand it, okay, and that you can use this information. All right, so take your time, go back, look at your notes. It's about 21 marks, okay? This is the last quiz we're gonna do. There are no quizzes or projects after today, all right? Just me attempting to get everybody across the line. Tomorrow, like I said, we're going to work on some micro stuff, but I'm not going to be assessing you on it. Yes?
How do you get to this quiz?
So there's multiple ways. If you look on the content page, and you go down to the bottom, plants, and then you go to today, day 19, and then you go right to the bottom here. It says complete the plants unit quiz. If you click on that, that'll take you to the quiz. Or
We'll take you to all of them, right?
if you want to go to all of them, you go to more on the side here, assessment, and quizzes.
Yeah, I just found that out. I never knew, like, it was there.
So
Like, before I
there's
it
another way to
would just pop up, so I just clicked on it and I did it.
So there they are. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys an opportunity to work on that. I'm gonna try and connect with everybody and let them know what they need to work on. But it's very easy for you to figure out what you need to do, guys. Go to the assignments tab. Check. Is anything not submitted? Do that. Okay. Go to the quizzes tab. Is there anything not submitted? Do that. Okay. That's it. All right. If you need anything, if you're at home, oh, how many questions? There is about 20, Nadia. I think 20 or 21. If you guys need anything, you have any questions at all, the chat will be open. If it's a longer question, you can always email, okay? And I check that periodically throughout the day as well. All right, let me know if you need anything, guys. Let's get this done. Hey guys, welcome to the second half here. Hopefully you have had an opportunity to work on some projects and get some stuff done. I know it's been a productive period for a lot of people in here.
We're doing Kahoot?
Sorry?
We're doing Kahoot? Oh, no, never mind. Kahoot screen.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what that's about. In the second half, if you haven't started already, you should start doing the plants quiz. So if you haven't done the plants quiz, do the plants quiz. It's available. If I changed the tabs across the top. So if you refresh the course page.
No, you can close out of it. You can? I closed it out. I did one question and then I left.
Does it save your progress?
Yeah, it says continue to test.
It does. It saves your progress if you exit.
So you have to actually submit it for it to count.
But not submit it all the way?
No, it just automatically saves your answer.
Right, but if you're saying that if you exit the quiz before you finish, it saves your progress in the quiz?
Yeah, and then you can go back.
Amazing. Okay, that's good to know. I didn't know that. When I did it on my end, it didn't work. Hi.
I just wondering, are you going back online?
Oh, everything's working for me here.
No, I mean, are you actually going live again?
Oh, so right now.
You are live?
I am right now. Yes.
Okay, 'cause
Yeah.
you weren't when I left, so.
Sorry, we always take a quick walk right after the end of the break, and then we start after that.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah. No worries. So, sorry guys. If in the second half here you're gonna complete the plants quiz. Let me just pull it up here so you can see it. Why can't you see it? What's going on? Is it up here? No. There we go. Too many windows. If you look at the top, I added a quizzes tab up there. It was buried in a couple different menus, so people were finding it difficult to figure out where that is. That's where your quizzes are located. So if you click on that, that'll show you what quizzes you have to do. You definitely, or you almost certainly have to do the plants quiz, unless you did it today. So, so make sure you complete the plants quiz. Once you're done that, you can, if you're done everything, work on the plants presentation assignment. That's the importance of plants presentation assignment. It's at the bottom of the assignments tab. If you aren't done everything, then don't even worry about this assignment, okay? This is a purely bonus. So take this opportunity to complete everything else that you owe me. Look through here. Let me show you what your view looks like. So your view looks like this, and there's a little column here called completion status. And looking through in the completion status, for each one it should say 1 file submitted or 2 files submitted. If it says not submitted, it means you're not done. So you need to have everything on this list complete except for the very last one, which is the importance of plants presentation, okay? That's bonus, but everything else on there needs to be complete. So again, if you're curious of what you need to complete, that's the full list. I'm going through the entire class progress report thing right now and figuring out what each person owes, and I'm sending an email to you. So you should get an email today with a summary of the things that you still need to hand in. If I've already sent that email out, I've done about 6 students so far. If I've already sent it out and you've handed something in since then, great. Great, obviously it's not going to be reflected in the email I already sent, but I'm doing them sort of like as I go. So I'll check to see what you owe and hand it in. If you hand something in like 1 second after that, yeah, it's not going to be updated on there, but just so you know, okay? So everybody's going to get a summary today. Please make sure you're completing everything on that list, okay? I need every assignment from every person. Okay, if you have any questions about what you're working on right now, If you have any questions about what to do for a particular assignment, please let me know. But let's use this time wisely, guys. A lot of people owe a lot of things. So I'm going to talk less and let you work more. Okay, good luck. Let me know what you need.